Welcome to the AME television show. I'm your host, Jason Dowd. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. We've got a lot of great stuff. But before we get into anything, go check out our website. It's www.theamemagazine.com. When you're there, you'll be able to see what the AME experience is all about, which is our television, radio, and magazine. There's a lot of stuff for you to be inspired by up there, and you'll learn. And that's what we love about it, because everybody that's been on our show has either walked the walk or talked the talk. And so if they can do it, you can do it too. Now, when you're there, be sure to check out all of our social media networks. You can like us, follow us, whatever the terminology for that particular site is. You can download our free apps on our Apple or Android platform, and you can sign up for our newsletter. So there's a lot of stuff for you to stay in the know on everything that is the AME experience. Now, today we're not going to be going to any crazy places. We're not going to be doing any point of view adventures, but we do have a couple of great guests coming on. And we're going to be going to New Jersey for our very first guest. We have on the line with us Gillian Bryck, who in 2010 started the Howell PAL Theater Company. And they have a brand new production of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. And we have the star of the show, Belle, who is Ashley. You remember Ashley. She came down here. We met her at Disney Springs. We did some interviews along the way. Great friends, and I'll tell you what, I'm really excited for her. Now, everybody knows that Disney's Beauty and the Beast happens to be one of the timeless tales that Disney has ever produced, one of the best princesses, and it happens to be, if you watch Descendants, Belle is the main queen of Oregon. So they put a lot of emphasis on Belle. It has some of the best musicals, the songs and the scores for it. It's going to be a wonderful experience, and this isn't just your typical community theater. They are going above and beyond with some of the best costumes that you could possibly imagine with some of the best talent. So if you're in this area, you're going to want to see this. So we have Ashley and Gillian talking about this particular show here, and we're going to be having a sneak preview of Ashley singing Home, which is not your normal Beauty and the Beast song. So they have added some, and this is one of the examples you're going to be hearing after the interview, so go check it out right now. We're going to New Jersey for the Howell PAL Theater Company and Beauty and the Beast. We are in New Jersey today for a great play that's being put on. You probably know it. It's Beauty and the Beast, one of the timeless Disney classics. And we are here with the founder of the company, and we're also here with Ashley, who plays Belle. Now, I met Ashley, and you guys met Ashley in 2015, when she came down here and was playing in some plays at Disney Springs, and she started playing with performing with the theater company in 2017 as Ariel. And now we're here to talk about this amazing club and what you guys are doing and how you guys are reaching out to the community and bringing the arts to the people around you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So when was this theater company founded?
It was founded in 2013. The Police Athletic League in Howell came to me and asked me to do a summer camp. And I said to them, why don't we open up a theater company? Why don't we start a theater company? So I pitched the idea, and 7 years later, we're still doing it. So it's a lot of fun. It's a summer project. And then it goes throughout the year where I teach acting and voice to children.
That's fantastic. Now, for the people that don't understand what the difference between those two are, what is the difference between a camp and a company?
So a camp would just be kids come in, they play, we would play games, and we would end with maybe a small show. But this is a theater company in which it is from beginning to end. Students are performing with sound, with lights, with costumes, with scenery, with sets. We have lighting designers, choreographers, sound engineers working. So it's a real show, and it's performed at the Performing Arts High School. That's right here in Howell, New Jersey. So it's performed at a real theater, and so they get the true theater experience when they work with our company.
Now, do you travel too? Because I know some of these companies do travel from places to place, but are you guys pretty much stationary there, or do you still travel and go around the different towns?
We are stationary. The thing that's unique and most unique about our company is that we have two separate casts. So we have a cast that's from 6 to 13, in which our leads are those ages. And then we have another cast that's 13 through 21. So we perform the same show. We rehearse simultaneously, and then we do 6 shows, 3 with cast 1, which is the smaller cast, the younger cast, and then 3 with cast 2. And my original vision for that was that I would give opportunities to kids of all ages to become leads. So that's what the premise of this theater company is, and what makes it unique. And Ashley has been my star. Every time she's auditioned, she's become the star role because she's awesome.
Well, look at her. I mean, she's got the charisma, she's got the talent, she's got everything you need, right?
She's got the voice.
Yes.
She totally has the voice and the emotion and everything to go with that. So that's the big difference.
Now, I know Ashley's got a lot of experience and stuff like that. But what if somebody doesn't? Can they come into this company and learn along the way, or do they have to have some type of experience to be able to perform?
Absolutely not. They can come straight out from, just being in chorus to never having any experience at all into this theater company. But many of my students, my actors, will come and take my classes throughout the year. I offer actors toolbox classes throughout the year where they learn the basics and they get to do a small showcase. But no, you do not need to have any experience. I am a teacher by trade. Just retired after 29 years of being a teacher. So that's part of my area in which I can actually take my love of teaching, my love of children, my love of theater, and then transfer it to them. So they get the full experience.
Now let's talk about this Beauty and the Beast. That happens to be absolutely one of my favorite of all-time Disney performances. I've always fell in love with Belle. I love the story of it. It's a wonderful story. And I remember when it came out in theaters, believe it or not. So, I mean, I can't believe it's been, almost 30 years since it's been released. I mean, it's crazy. So why did you decide to do Beauty and the Beast this time?
This will make my 3rd time doing this show. It is a classic. It draws audience like crazy. Everybody wants to take their children to see Beauty and the Beast. And every time I've directed it, and every time I've seen it, I cry. It just gives me that feeling of, I don't know, love and magic, and the Beast and what's inside of him is so good, and Belle just believing in him and being different and it's got so many different messages to it. Belle is an outcast. Belle is somebody that everybody thinks is odd. And the Beast is the same, and then they fall in love, and it's just a beautiful story.
I love the song where A Tale as Old as Time, when they're sitting there saying, learning that you were wrong and that you can change. What a powerful message that sends to anybody that listens to it. Every time I hear it, even just thinking about it, I just got chills down my spine. It's a great song.
Beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful song. And the costumes are gorgeous, and it's magical.
Yes,
it really is when you see it on stage. It's a magical, magical show, hence why I've done it 3 times over the last 15 years. I used to direct at another company, so this would be my 3rd time doing it. So
now, Ashley, tell me a little bit about this role that you decided to take on as Belle. You are the lead in this, obviously, other than maybe the Beast. Was this a role that you actually were shooting to get, or you were just trying to go on and just be a part of something?
Well, Belle's been my favorite Disney princess since I was really little, so I wanted this role. And I think she has a good message because she's not starting out as a Disney princess. She's a normal person and she becomes one, and she sets good examples for other people.
Yeah. Now, we all know that the original movie that came out, the live action movie, was a little bit different from the original cartoon movie that we saw. Now, how different is this play? Is it to the cartoon that we remember? Is there some differences? How is it different between this one and that particular movie?
I feel like ours is similar to the cartoon.
Okay.
What we're off of, and the Broadway one, what we're similar to.
Is there some additional songs in this that wasn't in the movie? Right?
Yeah,
I think
there's
so.
like Home.
Yeah,
and-
but it's basically the same as the cartoon that we saw.
Love
And
it.
that's when I'm directing the kids, I tell them that except for Belle, who isn't a cartoon, but like the enchanted objects, as they're called, like your cartoon characters, like you need to really, really express and be a character, a cartoon character when you're up there on stage.
I hear that. Now, Ashley, every time you play a role, you have to kind of put some of yourself inside that role and make it your own. So how did you incorporate Belle into your own personality?
Well, I feel like I've always liked reading, so that's in that respect. And like she is a normal person, like I said, so it's not as hard to like put it together. But I like really connect with her song. I'm not exactly sure why, but I really love Home, and that's all like makes myself like get chills every time I hear it, and it's so good. And she's a fun character to play because she's a normal person, and she's not overly cartoony. Like she's strong. She stands for what she believes in.
Now, I know that in the cartoon, Belle had a bunch of different dresses. Some of them were very elaborate. Some of them were just your everyday average type of dress that she would go to the bookstore with and walk around town. What's your favorite costume in this particular show?
Oh, by far the yellow one.
The yellow
so
one?
Pretty. So pretty.
By far.
Yeah.
Who made the dresses for you guys?
We have a customer. Her name is Jackie Revier, and she has a company called Playtime Costumes, and she's located in Freehold, New Jersey. I've been working with her for 20 years. She has a huge costume, what would you call it? Like warehouse? It would be a warehouse, yeah, where she stores costumes for numerous shows that she does. And she's just wonderful. She's great with the kids, and she's got beautiful, beautiful costumes that we rent from her for the shows.
Nice. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different songs in this particular play and whatever. What's your favorite song to sing out of this?
My favorite is Home.
And she sings it so beautifully. As I said with Ashley, one of her greatest abilities is to be able to sing but also feel the song, so that she draws her audience in. They can definitely feel her passion and her need and her want to be home when she sings that. So it makes it really come alive.
And it probably helps that technically you're a Disney fan anyway. So this is when you come down here to Florida, that's your second home. So it's not like you have to get out or tap your inner Disney. You're pretty much always there.
Yeah, basically. We've met Belle so many times in Disney, so it's like just copy off of her.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty cool places down there, hasn't it? Like especially like out in the where's that tower? That one place where the mirror comes alive and stuff like that. That's so cool.
The Enchanted Tales with Belle.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff.
We had to rent. We're renting the Rose, so the Rose lights up, and as the show progresses, we lose petals of the Rose, and it's large, so we rent that. We rent Chip's cart, where we have a little Chip in there. We have an adorable 6-year-old boy, Jameson. And then we have 2 girls that are twins that play Chip for the younger cast. So it's wonderful. So yeah, we do have the special effects, and the lighting designer will be doing a lot of lighting and special effects to make it really come alive.
Now, if people want to see this, I know you guys are already starting to sell tickets. Where can people buy the tickets? Where can people come see it? And when?
It's September 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Of September, and we have a website, www.howell, HOWELL, theaterco.com, and on that site you will see a link to where you could get tickets. It's from booktix.com, so they can purchase the tickets online.
Do any of the cast members or anything like that have tickets that they could sell if they're like at school or anything like that?
We do not have, we have ticket sales at the door.
Okay.
But no, it's only online. And then we release the online sales at the door prior to the time, because a lot of people aren't sure about when they're going to come. So we do sell tickets at the door.
And I do want to get this in before we go. You know, you guys are funded by the police, a police group. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a police athletic league in Howell, New Jersey. Sergeant Chris Hill, is the national president of the Police Athletic League. So he is known throughout the country. I feel very fortunate to work for them. Everything is funded through them. And it's a nonprofit organization. So they have been very, very supportive of us and the arts. And they're excited that Howell Township has our own community theater. And our community theater does work with all the surrounding area. You do not have to be from Howell to do shows with us, but they do fund us, and we do thank them for that.
Well, you know, I've been always a big proponent of the arts, and I believe that it's a great way for kids to express themselves. It keeps a lot of us out of trouble. It kept me out of trouble. You know, so I love what you're doing. I really love these stories that you're producing. I love that you're able to get these kids involved and give them something positive to go for and shoot for, because you never know, this could actually be a real life career for them someday. And I love that. So thank you for what you're doing here. And thank you for coming on and sharing us a little bit, telling us a little bit about what you're doing and your group.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're going to be right back with our next guest here in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Is this home? Am I here for a day or forever? Shut away from the world until who knows when. Oh, but then, as my life has been altered, once it can change again.
What do you want? You want Gladys Goodies? You want to try chicken? How about turkey? You want to try turkey? You never tried sweet potato before. How about we give you a sweet potato? It might help your stomach. You do? Well, there's only one place to get it, and that is GladysGoodies.com, where you can get the chicken, the turkey, the sweet potato, salmon, beef, and more. Should we show them the website one more time so they know where to get it? Well, I'm going to listen to Puppy, so here's the website. If you want all natural, healthy treats with no chemicals, byproducts, or other harmful ingredients, GladysGoodies.com is the place for you. We got the treats and the swag to make their tails wag. Hey everybody, we are back, and I have another great guest for you today. We are staying in the Disney theme, which is great. I love Disney. Everybody knows I love Disney. So we are going to Los Angeles to talk to one of the stars of Coop and Cami Ask the World, Rebecca Metz. She plays their mother, and she's also been seen on FX's Better Things. She's got a lot of stuff going for her. She's extremely talented, and she's extremely busy. And as an actress, that's what you want. Or even an actor, you want to be busy. And we are going to be talking to her about Coop and Cami Ask the World, which got re-signed for another season, so you'll be seeing season 2 coming out. They're currently taping that. And FX's Better Things, the new season's out right now, so you can go check that out. So we're going to get her perspective on how she became an actress, and you'd be surprised what inspired her to start acting. It's not what you think, and I love it. I love that type of a story. So we're going to be finding out a little bit more about her. We're going to learn more about the Coop and Cami Ask the World, and she's going to give us a little bit of an insight from the Disney side of the tragic death of Cameron Boyce. I know she's never met him, but she has seen how the effect of that has rippled through the Disney family and the taping and everything else. So we're going to be finding out about that from one of the Disney cast themselves. So let's go to Los Angeles. We got Rebecca on the line, and let's have some fun talking. Hey everybody, we are back. I'm really excited to talk to this lady that we have on today. Her name is Rebecca Metz. You've probably seen her on Coop and Cami Ask the World on Disney Channel. You've also seen her on a bunch of other things too, which we are going to be talking about here. She is also on Better Things, and she plays Tressa on there, and she plays Jenna Wrather on Coop and Cami. And we're excited to have you on to talk about all this stuff and more. So welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
I'm glad. It's nice to be able to talk to you face to face, because I know we talked on the phone one time, and it was a lot of fun. And now they get to see us, so that's really cool.
I know, it's nice you're taking steps forward in technology.
We couldn't do this back in the day now, could we?
No, the olden times, would have had to have gotten on a horse-drawn carriage or something.
That's true. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. How did you get into acting? I know you have a really cool story about that, and I really fell in love with it when you told me what inspired you to become an actor.
I grew up as a kid in New Jersey. I don't have family in the business. It's not wasn't a part of the world that I grew up in, but I was a big fan of the Muppet Show back in the 1970s. And I just kind of fell in love with the idea of theater and kind of the backstage craziness that went on. And it just seemed like that's what made me want to do it, is I was like, I want to hang out with those people. Not really registering as a little kid that I would not actually be hanging out with Muppets if I started doing theater, but close enough. And yeah, I got involved with local theater in school and just kept pursuing it until I decided to kind of make it a career.
Now, how different is theater compared to your experiences on television and movies?
It's different. The acting isn't that different. It's just about sort of where your audience is. Like when you're acting on camera, the audience is closer to you. And when you're acting in theater, you're acting for a much bigger space. And so you have to change some things about your voice and your body and how you do it. But the work is pretty much the same. Funnily enough, Coop and Cami, it's a multi-camera show, like a classic sitcom, which as television goes is the most like theater of anything that you can do on camera. You know, it's what we call proscenium. So all the cameras are on one straight line most of the time. So you're kind of acting to the audience the same way you would on stage. So a lot of those old theater instincts are coming back to me. It's nice to put them to use again. And other shows are different and more like film, doing Shameless or Better Things, where it's single camera and you're really kind of moving freely in the space and the camera can be anywhere. So that's different, but it's fun to get to do a little bit of all of it. Does
Disney use more of a multi-camera shots as opposed to some of these other shows? Because I know with like Liv and Maddie, they had to do that with, and I think they did it also with Good Luck Charlie.
Yeah, they do kind of a mix. Like I know I'm not going to be able to rattle off which show is which, but they do a good balance of multicam and single cam. We don't do live audience. They do some shows with live audience taping, which is really fun. We're just not in a place where we can do that physically. But Disney does a good mix. I think for a while, multicam kind of fell out of fashion, but it's back in the last few years, and I'm really glad because it's really fun to work on.
I'm sure. So tell me a little bit about Coop and Cami Ask the World. It took me a little bit of time to understand the Would You Rather, because I realized that that's your character's last name, and I thought, I'm like, wow, that's a great play on words. And I never knew that, so I learned a little bit of something about that just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's about the Wrather family, Wrather, and two of the Wrather kids. So I'm the mom, Jenna Wrather. I have 4 kids, and then the neighbor kid, Fred, who's always around. So it's basically me and 5 kids. And 2 of my kids, Coop and Cami, have an online show, kind of a Would You Rather style show. So every episode has something in it where they're sort of asking their audience, would you rather do this or this? And sometimes it's a fun thing, like would you rather, get a bunch of blue goop spilled on your head or jump around in a pool of mud, or sometimes it's something that they're grappling with in their lives and it's a little bit more serious, and we see how that plays out through the episode. So it's about the show, and there's this kind of interesting interactive element, and the kids use sort of cameras and they really film like it's an online show. But then it's also about the family, and I'm a single working mom on the show. We found out in the pilot that Dad passed away 2 years ago, and I'm about to start dating. So it's a single parent family, and I think that's really important to show people. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
It is. There is a lot of stuff going on, and you would definitely have your hands full with those kids. Yeah, I love what they do to the poor little guy. I mean, he's basically the brunt of every one of those Would You Rathers, and it's funny what they made him do.
Yeah, he plays Ollie Wrather. The actor's name is Paxton Booth, and they are so lucky they got a good sport in that kid. Like, he is up for anything, and they have stuck him to the side of the house. They've, dropped stuff on his head, had him go down a zip line. Like, they cast the right kid.
Now, do they keep you guys, on your toes on set? Do they cause a lot of trouble? Do they like to play pranks or anything like that?
They're pretty well behaved, like disciplined little actors, these kids. They get a little pranky sometimes. Dakota Lotus, who plays Cooper, is our class clown for sure. We were just on summer break, which means they weren't in school, so they had a lot of free time to we had a big water balloon fight in the parking lot one day and, you know, got into some trouble. But now they're back in school. So whenever they're not on set, they're studying. So I kind of have the place to myself. I'm the one who gets to play pranks on people. Actually, we have a greensman named Pete, who is the big prankster on set. So he will like set up speakers and all of a sudden you'll hear someone saying your name while you're getting your breakfast. And so the big prankster on set is Pete, whose face you will never see, but he is a legend.
Now, I saw something from on the Disney Channel. I think it was Ruby that was doing it, like those little secrets that she has. There's a secret little animal that appears in every shot, from what I heard. Tell me a little bit about that. That's cool.
She's probably talking about Cheddar, our stuffed animal cheetah, who lives at the top of the stairs on the show. He was just part of the set decoration, and we kind of adopted him. And there's some cheetah wallpaper in a couple of places in the Wrather house. And so we've decided that this is like a theme. And maybe Disney will like send us on a safari. This is not official at all. I'm not breaking any news. It's just what we think should happen. So yeah, Cheddar makes an appearance in some episodes. Right now he's got a couple of sweaters draped over his head.
That's cool.
Hangs out at the top of the stairs watching everything the Wrathers get up to.
And I saw one of my favorite episodes that I got to watch you guys with was with Sadie, where she came on set and she was the Olympic gymnast or she was a world class sports somebody, and your older daughter was the ambassador to her. And at the end, they stuck her and Ruby up the nose so they looked like dangling boogers hanging out. That was awesome.
That was messy. And like when they poured that snot over their heads, like that's the kind of thing that you have to get right the first time. Otherwise, it's going to be a big, complicated, time-consuming cleanup to do it again. So when we do things like that, it's actually a lot of pressure because everybody wants to make sure we're ready to get it right the first time. And they were troopers. I wouldn't want to be in that stuff. It was gross.
Did you ever have to do another one of those stunts over again because you messed it up and it was really something you had to do a lot of work with?
Maybe once or twice, but usually our special effects team is amazing, and usually we're pretty good about getting it right the first time. I was about to tell a story about something we do in season 2 that I'm not allowed to tell yet, so I won't tell that story. But they do a good job of making sure we only have to do it once. I'll just say that. That's
good. You know, I know what the feeling is because I was putting in a bathroom vanity that I had to cut the hole in for the sink, and you get one shot at that. Otherwise, you have $500 junk. You know,
yep.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it's similar. There's a heavy sense of concentration when we have to do stuff like that.
Now, I heard that Coop and Cami is now into season 2, and you just kind of said it yourself. That's really exciting to be able to have a renewal of the show for another season. What kind of things is it going to be different than the first season, or is it going to be kind of continuing on with the same type of storylines?
It's continuing. The show is the same. The family is the same. I think the kids have all grown a lot as actors. I think we've all sort of grown tighter as an ensemble. So I think things will be a little smoother, and the writers get to have a little more fun. Everybody, now that we're comfortable with each other and we understand the show really well, I think we just get to amp everything up and have more fun with the show that people already know and love.
Yeah. And it's a great show. It's fun. You never know what you're going to get on the show. That's what I love about it. And yet the play on words is sometimes amazing too. Because I remember the one where they had the sledding contest and the trophy was the big brown log. I mean, that's great. I mean, I love the creativity by the writers in this particular show.
A lot of references to the big brown log. We have to we have to make the show appeal to a broad audience of kids, and some of them like the emotional stuff, and some of them like the funny stuff, and some of them like the poop jokes. So there's always got to be a little something in there for everybody.
So how are you evolving with your particular character? I know you're one of the few adults on this show, but you're going to grow too. Your kids are going to grow. You're going to have to grow with the kids and learn stuff along the way. So how is your character developing since the first episode?
I think she's just getting kind of deeper into her life. She's getting a little more involved with and supportive of the Would You Rathers with the kids. We see a little bit more of Principal Walker, who we met last season, who's Jenna's dating the kid's principal, which causes all kinds of problems. We get a little more taste of her life at work as a real estate agent. I mean, I think really the way the character is growing is just in the way our relationships, the relationships between me and all the kids have grown as we've gotten to know each other and work more comfortably with each other as actors. And as they're growing up so fast, like they're little adults now. So it's like, you know, my relationship with them changes as they get older and they're not so much kids anymore. They're full on teenagers.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to anybody that wants to maybe try acting, if they're a child or if they're an adult? What type of advice would you give to them?
I mean, the good thing about acting is it's never too late to start. That's one of the biggest questions I get from people is, you know, I'm 20 or I'm 13 or I'm 50, you know, is it too late? And it's never too late. The thing that I would say to do is the first and most important thing is find the best acting class you can get into. It is a craft. You have to learn it. You know, acting professionally means competing at the highest level. So you have to be among the best of the best. And that means taking your training seriously. So I would say find the best class you can and really commit yourself to it. And if you love the work, the only reason to do it is if you love the work, because it's a really hard and competitive career. But if you find that you love it, keep going, get involved in community theater and film groups locally, like build up your experience in your training wherever you are at home. Don't rush to move to someplace like LA or New York because it's expensive and really competitive. And go to a place like that when you're ready, when you've gone as far as you can go close to home.
Now, I haven't had a chance to ask anybody that's worked for the Disney family, but we all know that Disney got rocked by the death of Cameron Boyce, and what a tragedy that was. How has that affected the other shows, if any, and what did his legacy for this particular Disney, even though it's been just a short amount of time, had on everybody?
I mean, I think it's really just brought people together. There was a small screening for Descendants 3. We were supposed to have a big premiere, and he passed away, unfortunately, just before that happened. And so that was canceled because it didn't feel appropriate. And I think it was at the request of his family. It didn't feel appropriate to have a big kind of celebratory event when everyone was feeling so devastated. So we had a small screening where people had a chance to come together and just, you know, express their feelings and be sad together and appreciate his amazing work and share stories about all the time that they spent with him. I actually never got to meet him myself. And so I feel like I can't comment too much. Like that's for people who knew and loved him and were close to him. But it really is a family, and Disney, I think, did a really good job of giving everyone space and time to come together and grieve.
Well, from what I heard, I would have loved to have had him on my show. I mean, he's just something that I look forward to, and those type of people that are so passionate about what they do and helping others along the way. And, you know, that seems like him. And I really wish I had the opportunity, but I never will. But that doesn't mean I can't love his work and you know, keep his memory going on by enjoying what he did.
Yep, exactly. I mean, a lot of the people that I work with obviously worked with him, and I got to hear a lot of stories, and it's obvious that he touched everyone he came in contact with. And thank goodness we have the legacy of his work to remember him by and appreciate him by.
Absolutely. So really quick drill before we go.
Okay.
I want to learn about you a little bit. Who is your favorite Disney princess?
I'm a Belle, Beauty and the Beast person. I've never been much for princesses in general, so I appreciate that she's like smart and bookish and not necessarily super into being a princess. That's what I really related to about her.
How about your favorite villain, Disney villain?
Oh, Ursula. So easy. She's just fabulous. She's awesome.
And what was your favorite Disney show that you've seen other than your own that you're on now that you liked?
I'm going to cheat about that because I didn't have cable growing up. And by the time I did, I was kind of too old to be watching Disney Channel stuff. So I never really got into Disney Channel shows. I feel terrible. I feel like I'm going to get fired for saying that. I wasn't. But I actually worked at Disney, like in an office job for a long time. And when I was there, the big thing was High School Musical. So I know some of the High School Musical music, and that was, and I was a high school theater kid. So that's probably like, of all the Disney original movies, that one's probably closest to my heart.
And out of all the movies that are ever there, from King Kong in the 1920s and 30s to now, if you got to play any role, and they could book you in it, what character would you want to play?
Any Disney character?
Doesn't have to be Disney. It could be
any character at all.
Any character, just whatever excites you.
I'm always I'm a huge fan of Maggie Smith, the British actress,
Okay.
who is in Downton Abbey. And I'm always looking for places in Coop and Cami episodes where I can do like a little secret Maggie Smith impression. It's like a little joke that we have on set. So I would say the Dowager Countess in Downton Abbey. I still have some years to go. Like that's something I can aspire to later in my life.
Love it. And who is your favorite Muppet?
Oh, so hard.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them. I really like New Zealand, who threw the boomerang fish. He's not like one of the major ones, but he just shows up in the middle of something totally else is going on, and all of a sudden New Zealand shows up and throws a boomerang fish. I feel like that's the kind of acting role I got for a long time. I would just sort of like show up in the middle of the scene and do something crazy, so I have an affection for him.
Love it. Well, we are just about out of time, so tell everybody where they can see Coop and Cami's and tell everybody where they can see your other show, which is Better Things.
Yeah, so you can see Coop and Cami Ask the World on Disney Channel and reruns all the time, and on the Disney Channel app, all the Disney apps. And season 2 is coming in the fall, so stay tuned for that announcement for the specific date. And Better Things you can find on FX and on Hulu and on the FX Now app.
And anything else you got coming out that you'd like to share before you go?
More Coop and Cami, more Better Things, and a few things I'm not allowed to talk about yet, so we'll just have to talk again.
I would love that. You're so much fun to have on here. I love talking to you, and I wish you all the best, and I'm going to continue watching these great shows, and I hope everybody else will too. And I know the girl that is on before us here on this particular episode, she's playing Belle, so she's going to be very happy that you are a Belle fan. And because she's in the New Jersey theater right now. So
amazing.
This is going to be a lot of fun, and she's going to love it. And thank you for coming on here and being a great guest once again. We'll love to have you back on.
My pleasure. Always great to be here. Thank you.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you right now. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to close out the show, so don't go anywhere.
If any other industry tried to do something like this, they'd go to jail.
Stuart Venner helps people out of timeshares. He warns we're pawns.
Yes, we are.
Venner says timeshares lose so much value they're nearly worthless when buyers opt to sell.
If you can get anything, it's really a miracle.
When there aren't any nibbles, Venner's tried giving deeds back to developers, but he says they refuse.
They're telling people it's worth $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, and I offer it to them for nothing, and they don't want it back.
Finance guru Dave Ramsey goes farther, labeling timeshares one of the biggest scams to.
Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is, there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to buyyourtimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. Buyyourtimeshare.com. That's buyyourtimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME. 877-94-HELP.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to close out the show. Future episodes, we have a lot of great guests coming up. We have Bob Burgeon, who is the voice of Porky Pig, coming on. He's going to be talking to us about voice acting, and he may even throw in a couple of Porky Pig impersonations for us. We don't know. We have Michael Campion coming on, who plays Jackson Fuller on Fuller House, which is the relaunch of Full House. So we're going to be talking to him about some stuff. We have Jason Stewart coming on. He's a comedian. He's been on some amazing shows. We're going to learn a little bit about him and his brand new book coming up. And you know what? I got some other stuff that we would love to see. I have a point of view experience from Epcot. We also have, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I can't even go all through it with you. So stay tuned for some more great guests, more great things coming up, more great adventures, and so much more. And again, check out our website. It's www.theamemagazine.com. So until then, keep those creative juices flowing, and we will see you again on the next show. If you liked the show today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share, and comment below. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook at The AME Experience, also Twitter at The AMEEX, and of course you can find us at www.theamemagazine.com.
Like, OMG, you were on TV and junk.